Today we're going to have another Unreal Engine 4 tutorial about materials. Now I'm going to show you on how to apply a texture in a material. So first, all you need is download any texture online. So you can have a PNG, JPEG. So I have already downloaded a resource here. So I downloaded a void image. It is a JPEG file and a PNG file, which is a crying obsidian from Minecraft. Also, a netherworld portal, also in Minecraft. Both are PNG file. We're going to use these PNG files as our texture of a material. So what we're going to do is we're just going to drag and drop these PNG files in our content browser. So before that, let's create a folder inside our content browser. So in a tutorial, let's create another folder. Let's name this textures. Inside it, we're going to drag and drop these two files. And here we are. We have our first texture. You can modify the texture or textures that you have in Unreal Engine 4 in any manner you want. So, but for me, I'm not going to edit any part of it. I'm going to use this as is on how I imported this texture. All we have to do is just save these textures. Saving your file is very important when you are creating a project. Always remember that. So now we're going to apply these textures in our object in in a viewport. Just drag and drop this texture in any actors you have, just like this box. And once you drag and drop this texture, Unreal Engine 4 will automatically create a material for it, just like this one. So it creates a material for crying obsidian. Then let's just drag this one on the third. So we're going to have another material for nether portal. Okay. So not now that we have our materials, just rename our new materials like this one. So let's name this M underscore crying obsidian. Always remember to put an acronym of a file type of your Unreal Engine. So I'm putting capital M in before the material name to identify that this is a material. So now that we renamed our new materials, we're going to move these materials on our materials folder. So just drag these materials on our materials folder here. So move here. Then here we are. We have these new materials in materials folder. What we're going to do is we're going to modify our new materials. So we're going to modify first the crying obsidian material. Just open this. And this is our nodes in crying obsidian. So what we're going to do is we're going to fit our texture in our material, because as you can see, it's just a texture and it's not properly um, aligned to our selected actor. So to modify this, we're going to connect our texture sample in the normal. So just this one. So we connect this texture sample in the uh, normal map connector to make it a little bit realistic, just like this one. As you can see, we have curves and bumps on our material. So it makes it looks like real obsidian block. Unlike previously, it's just a uh, an image stick to a block. So when you're connecting a texture sample in a normal map connector, make sure you have a proper texture sample. So as you can see, I connected a texture sample, which is actually a not proper one. But for me, it's enough to have a normal map uh, for our obsidian material. Then after that, let's add some of specular. So just put scalar parameter. Then let's name this specular. Okay, so maybe we put 1 to our specular to add some um, additional effects of texture in our obsidian block or crying obsidian. Now after that, we're going to connect a texture coordinate in our UVs. So we're going to connect this texture coordinate to adjust the texture in our actor here, because as you can see, it's not displaying the whole texture that we have. I think it only displays a portion of our original texture. So we're going to use a texture coordinate to adjust this, uh, to adjust the output of our material in our object or actor. So in texture coordinate, maybe we put some 4. So we applied 4 in both UV tiling. Let's save our material so we can see if it fits on our actor in the level. So as you can see, it fits a little bit. So let's just adjust another value, or let's just increase our UV tiling, maybe 5. Then let's save our material. Okay, so as you can see, I think the texture coordinate fits properly in our actor. So let's see in the actual gameplay. So maybe we switch the position of our first person. Let's position our first person in front of the sunlight, just like this one, because the light direction comes from the back of our first person. So we switch the position of our first person so we can see the output of our actor quickly once we save our materials, just like this one. Okay, so you see the final output of our crying obsidian. So it looks a little bit realistic. And that's how we apply a texture in a material. Now that we have a first material of our texture. So remember, when you play in Minecraft, let's say we have a crying obsidian. Actually, the crying obsidian literally glows, not this one. So the next material that we're going to create is we're going to apply a glowing effect in our material. So to do that, we're going to duplicate our crying obsidian material. So we're going to duplicate this in the content browser. Then let's rename this maybe glowing crying obsidian. Okay. So to apply emissiveness in our material, so what we're going to do is we're going to connect some multiply node in emissive. So we're going to apply the emissiveness just like what we applied previously in our recent videos. So we're going to combine the texture and the emissive. So we're going to connect our texture here, and let's say we apply another specular scalar parameter. So let's name this emissive. And I think let's try 20 as the emissive value. And as you can see, we have a glowing crying obsidian. Actually, crying obsidian really glows. So let's save our material. Then let's try to apply this on another actor in our level. So just drag this glowing crying obsidian. Maybe instead of glowing crying obsidian, let's name our crying obsidian into obsidian, because it looks like an obsidian. Then this glowing crying obsidian, let's name this just crying obsidian, because actually the crying obsidian in Minecraft really glows. And in Minecraft, the crying obsidian, um, it's like flickers slowly. As I remember, it flickers, or its glowiness or its emissiveness pulses a this one, our blue light pulse. So to apply a little bit, to apply pulse effects on our crying obsidian, what we're going to do is we're going to apply the uh, the nodes that we applied previously in our video, where we applied a pulse effects on our blue pulse material. So to do that, we're going to disconnect this emissiveness. And let's say connect this to another multiply node, because um, we're going to connect this second multiply node in linear interpolate, and this emissive value is in the letter B of our second multiply node. So in the A connector in the second multiply node, we're going to connect linear interpolate, and we're going to connect another constant vector tree to add another color for the emissiveness of our material. So let's find a proper violet. I think violet is the right color for crying obsidian when it glows in Minecraft, as I remember. Or a blue, a little bluish color like this one. I think this one. Then let's add another color so that we can have a transition pulsing effects in our emissiveness. So let's find another color, a blue one or a dark purple one. Maybe this one. This one will do. Okay. So now our two constant vector tree will be connected in A and B of linear interpolate. And to make a transition of these two colors, always remember when we applied transitioning blue and red in our previous video, we use a sign. And the sign must be connected in a time node. And here, as you can see, the transition of the purple and blue color glows like the actual crying obsidian in Minecraft. But I think the transition is too fast. So let's change the period of our sign into 4. And as you can see, the transition, I think, is enough for the effects of our crying obsidian. So let's save our crying obsidian, and let's see if it fits on our actor in the level. So as you can see, this really looks like a crying obsidian in Minecraft. So this is our second material. As you can remember earlier, we renamed this first material as obsidian because it looks like an obsidian, not a crying obsidian. Then this one, a glowing crying obsidian, we renamed it as crying obsidian because in Minecraft, crying obsidian really glows like that. So now that we have our two materials, what we're going to do next is we're going to modify our nether portal. So in Minecraft, we have a nether portal, a translucent one when we trigger a blocks of obsidian, or I mean when we lit the blocks of crying obsidian to open a portal. So the purple glowing one is the portal that you see. But as you can see, the nether portal material is not really looks like a nether portal in Minecraft. So we're going to modify this to make it look like a real nether portal. So let's open our nether portal material. So this is the nodes of our nether portal. So what we're going to do is we're going to apply um, the translucency that we applied when we created a blue glass material. So we're going to change the blend mode into translucent. And we're going to change the shading model from default lit to unlit. But as you can see, our texture sample is removed to the default node. So no worries about that because our texture sample will be connected in the emissive color. So we don't need the base color here because a nether portal is like a glowing black, but not really uh, glowing like the crying obsidian. Then after that, we're going to connect is scalar parameter in opacity. So let's name this opacity, and let's change the value maybe 0.75. Okay, I think the opacity is enough for our nether portal. Now that we have our nether portal, let's add some movement of our texture, a little bit animation, movement animation. So to apply a movement animation in our texture sample, we're going to use a panner in a UV connector. So what is the purpose of this panner? So as you can see, panner expression outputs UV texture coordinates that can be used to create panning or moving texture. So to apply a moving texture, panner best the panner node best suits the effects that we need. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect a time in this time connector. Then um, let's add a text coordinate because we're going to use this to animate the to animate the texture. And let's say we have another scalar parameter in speed. So we can adjust the speed of the panner. So in speed, let's add a default value of maybe 1. But as you can see, it animates so fast, which is not appropriate in our nether portal. So maybe we use divide. So to slower the animation, let's connect the scalar parameter speed to a divide node. And in the constant B connector, let's say let's put 50. So we're going to do is we're going to divide the uh, uh, speed value by 50 using divide node. And let's connect this divide node in speed. And as you can see, the speed of animation slows down. So let's save our material and let's check the output in the level. And as you can see, we have the nether portal, but its texture is too large for the object. So what we're going to do is let's adjust the texture coordinate. So to do that, we're going to disconnect the texture coordinate directly to the panner. Instead, we're going to connect the coordinate of the panner in the multiply node. Then we're going to connect the texture coordinate node in the A connector in multiply. Then let's connect another scalar parameter in the B connector. Let's name this scale. Then let's change the value of scale, maybe 10. So let's save our material. Okay. I think the animation is too slow. So let's change the speed of animation into 2, I think. So let's save our material. Okay, so I think 2 is enough to the speed of the nether portal's animation. So once we run the game, you can see we already have the obsidian block, the crying obsidian, and our nether portal. So remember, the portal has no shadow in Minecraft when we lit up the obsidian blocks. That's why we use unlit to remove the shadow. I mean, we use combination of translucency and unlit to remove the shadow, just like this one. And that's how we apply the texture in Unreal Engine 4.